Hello, folks. Thank you again for listening to the podcast. In this particular show coming up, we have G.I. Joe, who is a staunch, and I mean staunch, Donald Trump supporter. He's also a trucker. He's also an American now living in Canada. Combine all that, put that in a gumbo or a stew, and you have this podcast. This particular podcast with G.I. Joe, we're going to be doing hopefully weekly, but we're going to catch his vibe, his thing from the road, and he wants to talk Donald Trump. He wants to talk trucking. So yeah, feel it all together, and we come out with this. Let's go.
Joe. What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
So, my friend, you're trucking now. You're getting back.
About 10 years?
Yeah, you've been out of trucking for about 10 years. So now you're back, and now you're going to be trucking out of Ontario. You're from Missouri. You got a lady of your life here in Ontario. You decided to become a Canadian, and you love Canada. You love the States too. But now you're trucking in Canada. What's the difference now between trucking in Canada and Missouri?
The trucking in Canada, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The truckers in Canada are much better and they're more strict than they are in the States. You guys are better drivers overall. What I've experienced even 10 years ago when I first started coming into Canada, you guys had better logbook like restrictions.
Okay.
You guys are just better drivers, courteous.
Drivers are courteous, a little bit more respectful. Now, if you live here, you probably think differently. I know you're going through a MELT program. How long do you have to do it for, and what is it?
Well, the MELT program it's what they call a drive pre-test trip inspection for students or drivers. And what it is, it's like a 40-page document. It basically tells you what you got to do when you get your truck assignment from your company, when you first couple the trailer, when you do your air brake check, when you do your check valve, you're draining the tanks, you do your electrical inspections, and you basically all your logbook inspections. Anything that's wrong with the truck, you got to notify the company. You got to write it in your logbook. It's when you go to take your A test in the examiner, there's like 100 different questions that he can ask you, but he can only ask you 4. And when he asks you one of these 4 questions, you have to be able to do the entire procedure. Like your air brake test, that's 30 minutes. And he can ask you to do 1 of 4 questions on that test. You have to be perfect.
Okay.
You miss one of them, you flunk.
Wow. So no pressure, but you better know your shit.
Yeah.
No more jumping in.
You got to figure you're driving a 100-foot vehicle. You got a 53-foot trailer behind you, and you're hauling 80 up into 200,000 pounds.
You better know what you're doing. And I know in Ontario we've had a lot of carnage on our highways involving transport trucks, and I think a lot of people don't understand these things don't stop on a dime. And I know you're aware of that. But are there any tales or stories or anything you've noticed while you're training there that's kind of opened your eyes?
Well, yeah, there is. The guys that are training me, each one of these drivers, I have 2 instructors that are training us. It's one-on-one instruction. And each one of these guys, they have over 4 million miles driving experience without a single incident. That's 25 to 30 years driving without a single accident, DOT, inspection, infraction, nothing. And these guys are serious. And they tell us these stories. For instance, I know you guys are all aware, and it's very politically motivated right now. You're all aware of that accident that happened in Saskatoon, where that the driver of this dump truck with a tandem trailer crashed into a bus, and he killed and injured a bunch of people. Well, he only had 15 hours of training because there are certain government entities that basically state that that if you have a driver's license from a different country, you take a refresher course, and that's it. Well, now the Ontario government and federal government are like, no, you have to take this MELT program, and you pretty much got to be perfect.
So you're trying to say is I can't come from Great Britain or France, Cameroon, Pakistan, or India, or Australia and just hop in a truck after a 2-day refresher?
No, you have to go through this training program, and it's like I said, it's 8 weeks. And then you have to have 80 hours of driving. And if the instructor feels that you're not ready, there's days when I've been driving, and I'm supposed to drive for, say, my class session is 4 hours. Well, I've driven for 5 or 6 hours because the instructor's like, we're going to stay here until you get it right. Like the other day, for some reason, I had a mind fuck when it came to backing up, and I couldn't get the fucking trailer between the cones. And we spent 3 hours. Do it again, like a drill sergeant. Yeah. And finally, I was able to get it. I knocked it out. Okay, and then we went on and did something else. But they stay there until they feel comfortable.
Yeah, okay. Well, backing up is a major part of driving a transport truck, since you're going to be backing up in tight scenarios, usually in downtowns, in urban centers, in which you're going to have to put that trailer, say, within a I'm going to say a 20-foot area, in some cases 16-foot spot, and you're going to have to be on a dime and then have your head on a swivel with your mirror.
80% of all tractor-trailer accidents are slow-moving. You're going less than 5 kilometers an hour, and that's 80% of all accidents is slow-moving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
not many people know that. They see all this carnage on the road, but no, it's actually, it happens in the yard. Well, when you're in the yard, it's not reported.
Move on from there, because we're going to get in the truck, and as you get on the road, we're going to chronicleize your life on the road. You're going to be spending a couple of days away from home. You're going to be calling. We'll be talking while you're in your bunk and all that stuff about your day. And this will continue, G.I. Joe. And I know you have a few things to say about Donald Trump, so I'm going to throw this at you.
When you say collusion, and I'm looking at all these federal agencies or this, that, and the other, but they have yet, this Homer or whatever the fucker's name is, he's like, I've indicted 12 Russian officers. He hasn't come forward with any evidence.
Well,
where's your documents that state that KGB agent A did this to help Hillary or Trump get in the office? Where's your concrete evidence?
I think that comes in the trial, my friend. I don't think he has to. I don't think he has to display his evidence or discovery his evidence at the moment yet. I don't think he's trying to. I'm going to speak for him, but I don't think he's trying to try it in the press. Pardon me. I think he's trying to conceal everything and then dump it in the courtroom where it's supposed to be, instead of on Fox or on CNN. So there, I'm going to have to say no. Trump did go to Russia. Trump did hang out with Putin. You seen the same stuff I saw. How do you interpret the Trump and Putin show?
I look at it this way. Trump and Putin are friends. They're buddies.
No collusion.
And even Putin basically told everybody at the Helsinki conference that Hillary Clinton dumped $400 million into this organization or something, and then they spent all this money on uranium and this, that, and the other, but no one's paying attention to that.
But why? But whoa! But why is it always, from my perspective, I've noticed with the Trump, why is it always an attack on the black guy or the woman, Obama or Hillary Clinton? Why? Everyone's saying you're colluding with Russia. Like, he wants to now send the previous ambassador to Russia, the American ambassador. He wants them to come back so they can interrogate him. And Trump's actually considering it, Russian style. And your leader's saying, you know what? We might put you on that boat back there. That's never been done. What, do you think that's the new American way?
But then you got this guy. Let's look at the reverse part of that. You got this investigator from the U.S. who's indicting 12 Russian officers, and okay, you can indict somebody from a different country, but that's useless. That's irrelevant. I mean, unless they come back, how are they going to be tried? You see what I'm saying?
No, that's the whole point. They can't be tried because they won't come back. They'll keep them out of the country, and they'll keep an eye on the other ones that happen to be in the country. Is my understanding of it. But I just don't understand why, whenever Trump is backed into a corner where he can't answer anything, he takes his finger like a 12-year-old boy in class caught stealing, and he points to the other kid. Hey, man, that act is getting tired, no? Aren't you tired of it, Joe? And you're a Trump fan. You're making America great again.
Like I said, he does, I'll be honest with you. He doesn't have the best way of negotiating or public speaking or if you will, being politically correct, if you will. Yeah, he stumbled on his words. He stumbled on a couple of things. Like the other day when he said he backed Russia over the U.S. Intelligence.
Yeah, like, what's that, man? Come on. That's like playing for the... Now. Jesus. Okay, go on. Sorry, I'm just getting all hot.
Come on. When you look at the U.S. intelligence, you look at all the things that Clinton did. You look at all the things that...
Oh, here we go again. Hey?
How come they weren't as scrupulous with what they were doing?
But why are we going back to other people in their homework?
To Russia.
But why are we always pointing... Whoa. But why are we always pointing at other people in their homework? He's now in charge. He's now the new dancer. He got the ticket. He's the man. He's got it. He's got the brass ring. But he's always pointing at everyone else's homework from a year ago or from 10 years ago. Well, he did this and he did that. Like, when's he going to have the balls to stand up and say, you know what? I back my own people. He backs his own people. But from my perception is if they're male and if they're Caucasian. So, when's he going to start backing at least his intelligent people, the people that are bringing him the information. He can't even do that. And then you're here saying he's not the greatest talker in that. This guy went on the whole platform of being the great deal maker, and he was making fun of people, even people with disabilities. So now you're saying what? It's because of Hillary Clinton 5 years ago or 3 years ago? Come on, bro. Come on. Talk to me.
Dude. Okay, you got to look at Trump's been the most criticized president in the history of the United States.
Rightfully so, though, bro. Come on now.
Going after him.
Okay, so let's get the feelings out of the way then. Okay, he said a lot of stuff about a lot of people, but no one can say nothing about him because then he feels beat up upon. But yet he still continues to stand in the middle of the schoolyard, pointing his fingers at Obama, pointing his fingers at Hillary Clinton, pointing his fingers at anyone that disagrees with him. For a moment here, let's say we all agree with him. Why is he selling out his own team, man? Why, son? Why?
Because his own team is selling him out. His own team, the Republican Party, is selling him out.
Come on, man. They're all lined up in his favor before he went on that trip. Okay, so I'll exhale. Okay. Finish what you were going to say. Sorry, man. I just got hot there. I got one more to dump on you about him, and then we'll... Go ahead. Did you want to add anything to... Yeah.
No, I just feel that ever since Trump has gotten, even when he decided to run for president, people were laughed at him. Then when he says, there's a chance he might become the Republican nominee, people laughed at him. Then the night of the election, Hillary has a 91% chance of winning. And then when Trump actually won the election, people were like, we need to abolish the Electoral College. Well, that's the stupidest thing on this fucking earth. You can't have New York City, Chicago, and Los Angeles dictating what happens in the rest of the fucking 40 states.
40 guys sitting in a cornfield in Utah should dictate whether or not, everyone else has the right to live and who gets to live in their country. No, I get it, buddy. 40 guys in a cornfield in Utah, right? And as long as their hoods are on tight enough and no one knows their names, even better. Oh, wait a minute. I digress. Okay, so now you're in Canada. I love you, bro. I love you despite the politics.
And I will say this, though. Canada is an incredible country.
Stop right there. Don't even go there. You know where I'm going with this. Don't do it. Don't butter it. You're good. You're smooth.
Okay.
You're smooth. You're a Canadian citizen, or I don't even know what your status is, but...
I'm a landed immigrant.
You're a landed immigrant, and I'm letting you talk in Canada. Can you believe that? Under Trump? Under Trump, ICE would have kicked the door in, you be in handcuffs, and your kids, your dog, they'd all be shipped off to other parts of the country, and you wouldn't know where they were. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's happening. It's fact. Anyway, so Trump, Trudeau. Again, Trump, Trudeau. Deal, no deal. NAFTA may hurt you in the trucking industry if Trump gets his way. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Actually.
Thank you for listening to the Pure Garbage Podcast with Lex Cunningham and G.I. Joe. Next time you hear us, you'll answer that question. Is trucking going to be hurt by NAFTA? As well as what's going on with Little Rocket Man. As well as we're going to dig into more Donald Trump. Thank you for listening. Tune in again.